that little English cocker. That looks like a tornado going through the field. Everything's knocked down, but she is on it. And there's just so much go in them, you know, and they're all different. They're like kids. I mean, so I don't love one over the other, you know.
Hi, I'm Charlie Thorburn. Welcome to The Dog Father. The aim of this podcast is to look at the wider world of dogs and how it's impacted people's lives and businesses. I've been training dogs for 25 years and I love them dearly, and I'm hoping to share some of this with you. Welcome to the episode. I'm absolutely delighted and privileged to be here with Kevin, the owner of the world famous Kevin store. Good Trump handshake, that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time. As Kevin pointed out when we arrived, this is the busiest week of the year because we're coming up to Thanksgiving. So we have very valuable time here. So Kevin, I've visited your store a number of times over the years.
Yes, you have.
We've got a lot of, more and more clients in your part of the world, in Thomasville, getting our dogs, but also, you know, your name is all over the States. So I've got a lot of my clients followers and customers of yours from all over. So we just wanted to have a chat really about your store, your life. So Kevin's life in 20 minutes.
You can't tell my life in 20 minutes. Come on, mate.
Just this week.
I'm truly flattered that you're here, and I enjoy seeing you every time you're here. And here's a real chance to get to know you a little bit better. And maybe someday we get to go kill some stuff together. Excuse me. Maybe go on an expedition. Shooting. Okay. Yeah. I forgot where you came from. Everything's exactly. We got to be politically correct.
We do. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get you over to Scotland sometime. We're going out tomorrow with the Moonies and the Parrots and the.
Oh, I just saw
all that crew.
The Moonies. I just saw Daddy Mooney in here, and I was helping him with some new shoes.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got a dog for him. So.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
So he's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they all are. They're great families.
So, Kevin, born and bred Thomasville, Georgia?
Nope.
Where are you from?
I'm from 30 miles south. I was raised in Tallahassee, Florida, which is the capital, and the Florida state line and Georgia line is just 30 miles down the road. So my other store's in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I was going to say you have a store in Tallahassee.
That store is 51 years old. I started it when I was in college.
Surely not. Surely you must
do the math.
Barely been out of diapers.
Do the math. I was at Florida State University, and I was making $1.50 an hour, which back then I guess was okay for a young kid.
Okay.
Wasn't good enough for me though. Okay. But
so did you start the store while you were at university?
I started the store while I was at the university.
Awesome.
And I sold a couple of handguns, and on the side, just playing around with guns. I like guns. I like being in the woods. I like squirrel hunting and rabbit hunting.
You grew up hunting?
I grew up hunting. Now my dad was a city boy.
Okay.
But I grew up next door to a next door neighbor, and he had two little girls, but he was a quail hunter. He had two bird dogs in the backyard, old Jeep, but I was his son.
You.
So there's where it started. Okay. And then I go to college, sold a couple guns, started making a little money off of them. I made like $100 a piece on them, and that was a lot of money.
Better than $1.50.
Better than that $1.50. And so I went and rented leased a little small building. My mom and she helped me start it, and her name was Betty Kelly, and she was the driving force of our family, and she said, let's go get us a little building somewhere. So we rented a building. It was like $75, $100 a month, and here we go. And I didn't have any money to buy guns, so my father, he was an attorney in town, and all his friends came to my beck and call and gave me all their guns and stuff on consignment.
Okay.
So I had a free inventory.
Awesome.
It was easy until I sold them all and had to pay back.
Had to pay back all the money.
So I paid back all the money, and I started buying guns. I'd buy one or two here, one or two there, and it grew into this. We're very fortunate. We came up here in Thomasville and put this store in here. This store is 28 years old now. It is on the world stage. We've created a tremendous brand. My wife is the literate one of the crowd, and
the pretty one.
I'm the pretty one. No, but Kathleen is her name, and Kathleen is really IT.
She's
skilled.
Okay.
And she does all the design work. We build goods in 30 countries. I produced guns in Italy with the Italians. I've been going to Italy for half my life.
Yep.
And but Kathleen is really the catalog person. She owns the catalog company, the distribution center, and they're separate businesses from the retail stores. But everything you see with the Kevin's brand in that catalog, she has designed it, produced it, sourced it from one of the countries. We build stuff in the UK. We build, it depends on the quality. Kevin's is all about quality.
Awesome. So, I mean, you had amazing backing from your mum.
Not financial.
No, but just moral and helping you out.
Spiritual,
Because I mean,
moral.
that's really for a kid to go, because essentially you're a kid to go, oh, I'm going to open a gun store, and you're all from a town and you're not in that world. That, I mean, a lot of people would just get a kind of like, a bit like I got, don't be an idiot. You can't train dogs for a living. That's what that's what a gamekeeper does in his spare time. That's the kind of, but you got the yeah, you can do this. Let's go, which is awesome. And now you've then your mother's mantle passed on to your wife, and she came in and was like, right, I'm gonna help you build this even more. And now your son and daughter are both
They're here.
involved in the business.
Anna is doing all the design work with Kathleen, and she does all the social media. You can go to kevinscatalog.com for our social media and really see what Kevin's is all about.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to share that too down the road with your friends and stuff. And we're a hunting family. We're native Southerners. We like food and friends and dogs and guns, and that's us.
Yeah.
And the support that I've had from the community and the friends that we've met along the way, and like you, and we're buddies now. I'm sorry we didn't meet you 30 years ago, but I've enjoyed the sporting lifestyle, and it's on steroids for me right now. This store, our company, I get to meet all the nicest people on the planet. And
So you've got these two stores. This one's obviously, I haven't been to the other one, but this one is sort of iconic.
this is the one
This is
the market knows.
This is the one everybody knows now, even though it's not the first one. But you're looking at maybe having a store somewhere else.
We spent a year in Dallas a couple of years ago looking at real estate, and at that time, it was hard to find a place where we thought it would be beneficial to the human. Our number one state for our catalog customer is Texas.
So you've been looking at Dallas.
We've looked at several cities. Our company is cocked and ready. I mean, you could put this boom in its instant success because of the brand recognition that we have. We're all about quality. We're all about good things in life, and a store in Dallas would be incredible.
Yeah.
We've talked about, there's some strategic places to go that this would fit, and you got to find out where bird dogs are.
Yeah.
Because this is the wing shooting school in this country. I mean, store. And
Yep.
if you're wing shooting and you're upland hunting, your dogs, you're Kevin's.
Yeah. So, I mean, from my experience, Dallas is awesome.
It is.
Everyone in Dallas loves hunting.
It is.
Everyone in Dallas likes nice things.
Correct.
And then the other extreme, like the place we spend a lot of time where they do a lot of that kind of this sort of hunting, field hunting, but is Millbrook up in the north.
I can't go there.
No, it's too cold for you guys.
No, they got a new mayor.
Yeah.
No,
That's just the city though.
I know, but the political atmosphere at one time, that was the hot spot for Kevin's. That would have been because Kevin's is the extension of the old Abercrombie and Fitch in New York City in the 30s and 40s. That was a famous outdoor store. I mean, but they did African safaris and bird hunting and everything else.
Yeah.
But the political climate has changed.
Yeah.
And, I don't think that Kevin's needs to be involved in the politics. I think we need to be where we're all friends and we love guns.
Yeah, and everyone's just happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
I agree. Yeah. Okay. So that's an exciting new chapter. I mean, that's like, hey, go big or go home kind of.
I think it will be.
It's always all right.
And I think Kevin's, as all businesses do, their clients and their customers, they're aging. The question is, are we replacing that aging out group? I mean, you take a guy that's 75, 80 years old, he's not buying good guns anymore. He's already got them.
He's already got them.
And
he's wanting you to start selling.
That's your Millbrook guy.
Yeah.
Then where are we going to get the interest among young 20, 25, 30? Because this game's expensive now.
Yeah.
Our play grounds aren't free anymore.
No.
And so you have to have a young person who has some kind of income or family heritage that gets them into these. The land's going away.
Yep. Well, there you go. Even more reason for Dallas, fastest growing city in America.
There you go.
Someone told me that yesterday before yesterday. It's the fastest growing city in America.
You know why? Because the politics have run everybody out of the north down to
Everyone out
Dallas.
of the north. Yeah, yeah.
Because everybody up there is going to lose everything they got.
And it's not quite as hot as Houston, so it doesn't smell of oil quite as much. Not that that's a bad thing if you're in the oil industry.
What's wrong with that?
No, I went to Midland, Texas,
Hey,
and literally you drive through and you can smell the oil.
I thought about putting a store in Midland
Had you?
because I have a lot of customers there.
There's a lot of wealthy people in. I mean, everyone in Midland's got a lot of money, haven't they?
And you don't badmouth oil. You don't drive Teslas in Midland.
No, no, no. You drive the biggest.
Kevin's got the big diesel. I like burning fuel. Nah.
Got to keep in with your customers. Fair enough. Okay, so
much for the politics.
and future plan. Both your children are involved. Do they?
You know, who knows?
Who knows?
You know, our company is really good right now. You know, I'm getting.
How much of that is?
I'm
Kevin?
getting a little long in the tooth.
How much of the Kevin's is Kevin? That's the thing. And I'm asking this because we've got the biggest gun dog kennel in Europe. You know, one of the best known kind of 37 countries. We've got dogs in 35 US states. You know, but it's.
You got the same problem I got.
We had one of our best customers they own the Dallas Cowboys, and the grandson John Stephen Jones got a dog from me when he was 12. He came hunting in Georgia, and he met a mutual friend of ours, Gordon Mooney, and he looked at his dog. He'd never met Gordon before, and he goes, "Is that a Charlie dog?" And Gordon looked at him and said, "Sure is." And everyone else in the room were going, "What language? What are these guys talking about?" And it was one of my dogs, and they both knew what it was. But it's a Charlie dog. Do you know what I mean? It's his Kevin store. It's even got your name on it.
Well,
Like how you know, what's your take on that? Like, how do you make that a kind of how do you make Kevin's last forever?
it's easy
I want to know because I want to do the same.
because we
Charlie
got,
dogs
we got a
in
great,
20 years'
we
time,
got a
50 years'
great
time.
taxidermy around the corner. When I'm dead, I'm going around there. They're going to mount me and stand me up in the store. And Kevin's will live forever.
Kevin,
There he is.
There he is.
He's a little grumpy right now, but be careful. He's standing around the corner looking.
Standing around the corner, just checking on you.
I believe there's a lot there. That's a hard answer to
It's
provide.
really hard, yeah.
It's hard for you. It's hard for me. It's hard for any business. But these businesses are so good at what we do in the space that we're selling to and marketing our products to. They're too good to go away. You have to have good employees. They don't have to be you or me. No. It would help.
If I say that, I'll get lynched by my team when I get home.
Hold on.
I'm not saying that.
Or you could edit that and say, well, that's Kevin's take. I don't know where I am, but I'm trying to get to where he is, but I can't.
Exactly.
So anyway, but the bottom line is these companies are good. Businesses take good employees. These businesses are good because we have good employees. It is not all of us.
No, it's not.
We may think it is.
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I'm fully aware that very little bit of it was me nowadays.
I think the idea was there. I think the long hours, the strength, selecting good employees to help us carry what we think can be a good business has got us down the road to where they are good businesses. It's not us. It's good customers, great employees, good families, good friends,
And a good product.
and a good product. And I think you can keep that together without the number one hierarchy. When Henry Ford left, did Ford Motor Company go down? No, but it wobbled.
Yep.
But
And it's had a few wobbles over the years.
it's going to have more.
And it's going to have more.
The reason why wobbles come up is because the market's changed on the people that own those things, and we didn't adapt to it as fast as we should have.
Yeah. Innovate or evaporate. There you go.
Then you wobble. But buddy, the good companies and good employees can figure that out and tweak it real quick and get it back on the tracks. I believe in that.
Yep.
Can you bottle that and sell it? Can you read that out of a book?
No.
Hell no.
No, you can't.
You got to have employees that love doing what you do. And one of my mottos is, not mottos, one of my advice notes to employees, when they've been here a little while, I had a person ask me this years ago, Kevin, what do you expect from me as an employee? I said, I expect you to act like the owner. I'll act like the employee. You act like me.
Yep.
And we're going to get along just fine.
Yeah, perfect.
In other words, you take care of my business. It'll take care of you.
Yep.
You help me fill my basket, and I'm going to help you fill yours, buddy. And I just
Got a
believe
lot of analogies here. This
believe that
is
there-
awesome. This is
but I
going to
just-
keep me going for the rest of my
But
trip.
you know something? It's really just common sense.
Awesome common sense.
And good business people find out things, how to cultivate their employees for the mission of the company. Now, the problem is our missions are changing so fast right now. With IT and tech, and the world is changing. Everything is changing at our fingertips when we wake up every morning. Can you see it? That's the key. Can your employees see it? Can you listen to it? Can I listen to an employee and say, boss, we need to do this?
Yep.
Not very often can I take
harder.
that. I can't take that criticism.
No.
But I've learned how to swallow that and say, you know something? Come on, let's try this. Or here's why I don't think that'll work. Convince me that it will. This is my take on that. I talk to employees. I don't care if he's an entry-level employee or top management, whatever. I have more tough times with top management than I do with entry-level.
It's like kids. The bigger the kids, the bigger the problems, huh?
Well, they start thinking about stuff, but it's not their skin in the game.
Yeah.
And skin's money.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, and it's harder as we grow and we get bigger and our businesses get bigger, more problems come into that business. And
From back in the day when it was you buying a gun and selling a gun.
well, I knew
it was easy.
I knew how much
You knew
money.
the numbers.
I
you
knew,
knew
I
how
knew if
much
I had
you
the
were
money.
gonna-
I knew if I had the money to buy it.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly. And you knew what was left at the end of the month because it was either left or it wasn't left.
yeah, if I made a mistake, it was mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, there's
But ultimately, if anyone else makes a mistake, it's still your problem, isn't it? Because it's your shop, your name on the door, and it's your training or.
yeah, but they can fire them. They can't fire me.
Okay.
They make a mistake. They can go find no job. I can't. You can't get rid of me.
No one would give people like you and me a job. That's the problem.
But you know, I think if I was in another business, would I be happy with that business? Probably not. I can't do this. If I worked for somebody else, I'd be the best employee ever hired. I guarantee you.
You'd work hard, do the job above all, but
When I was young, I've been working since I was in the 3rd grade at school. I've been working since I was really young. And I worked in an automobile sales dealership. And I used to tell that old man all the time, I want to buy this dealership when I get, you know.
nice.
And he was very affluent in the community in Tallahassee. And when I was in college, but I worked for him all the way through.
Okay.
And he was the guy that was paying me $1.50 an hour. And one day, I went to the dealership at 9 o'clock in the morning. I always got there at 9 o'clock. I skipped school and went to the dealership. And I was waiting outside when he came in the door, and it was about 9:30. And I said, sir, I need to speak with you. And he says, okay, what you got, Kev? We were good friends.
Yeah.
And I was just a little old skinny guy trying to make things meet. And I said, I need to talk to you in your office. Well, that just,
And you were how old?
well, I was in college, so I was 18 or 20.
Okay.
And I said, I need to speak to you in your office. We get in the office, he's standing. I said, I really would like for you to sit down behind your desk. And he takes his hat off and sets it on the desk. And his name was Alford. And I said, Mr. Alford, I want to talk to you. I said, I'm here to thank you for 10 years of me being a little kid and you trusting me and letting me have a job. You've taught me more about business than any place I could have.
Any college.
Any college. And I said, I really appreciate you, your family, your business is incredible. And I said, I'm not going to be able to buy your company right now. He said, what are you talking about? I said, you know, I'm making $1.50 an hour. And I said, everybody else in the back's getting $2.20, $2.15 because that was minimum wage.
Okay.
And I said, you know, I'm not here to ask for a raise. I'm here to resign. And I said, my thank you comes with great gratitude. I do appreciate you. We're really good friends. I said, but I'm going to hold off on buying a dealership. I may circle back in 10 years and buy 2 or 3 of them. And he said, what are you going to do?
I love the American.
I said, I'm going to open up a gun store. He said, a gun store? Like anybody would. And I said, yes, sir. And I told him my plan and stuff, and he said, well, I'm going to come buy the first gun from you. I said, well, I'd appreciate that because I don't have any money. He said, I know you don't. He said, so anyway, so I peeled out of his office, shook his hand, and I said, I mean, thank you. I meant it. I spoke at his funeral, and he really respected me. He didn't like me leaving. He said, you're the best employee that I've ever had.
You don't want to lose.
And I said, he said, what do you think about that, Kevin? I said, that's a very nice comment, but I don't think I was the best employee you had. Everybody else was getting $2.15 an hour, and I was making $1.50. If I was good as you thought I was, you'd have paid
me $2.50.
I told him that. He said, I knew something like that was going to come out of you. I said, I don't mean that. I said, but when you got something good, you better recognize it in life. Now, here I am talking to a 60, 70-year-old man that owned a car dealership, and I'm just still wet behind the ears. But that's the way I've always been. I grew up around older people. I love elderly people. Those little young pissants, excuse me, they can't do anything for me. I love them, but I mean, come on. I want the old man and the old lady teaching me about the old days.
Okay.
Because that's when life was good.
Okay.
You know, and now that I'm that old guy.
You're that old guy teaching me.
And those young kids won't
You're
listen.
teaching me. I'm loving this.
And my young kids won't listen to me. They hate me. No, they don't.
So Kevin, my because I'm aware of the time, my podcast is called The Dog Father. So it's ultimately about dogs, but obviously our conversations have been about
The
you and
Godfather or the Dog
the
Father?
Dog Father.
I heard you the first time.
So I know you have Cocker Spaniels, and you've clearly had you got pointing dogs, and your daughter has a Labrador. What is your favorite dog you have ever owned, or you still own? I don't know. What is your favorite dog? Breed, name. Tell me a little bit about him or her.
I love them all. How can you pick a favorite?
I don't know. I know. It's like
I mean,
picking
when
your
I lay-
favorite kids.
I lay down on the floor, and the 5 dogs I have in the house, the 4 labs and the English Cocker, come up and they're all over me.
So tell me, what are they called?
The problem is I can't love them back as hard as they love me.
No, you never can, though.
And
I try.
I am devastated when a dog leaves me, when he passes away. And to your audience, when somebody tells me they had to put their dog down, that's disrespectful to me. I wouldn't say that about your mother. You had to put your mother down? No, she went to sleep. Let's take the dog and put him to sleep.
That's what we say.
That's what I say. I think it's disrespectful. You got the finest thing that's ever loved you, and you're going to say, I'm going to throw him in the truck and take him down and have the vet put him down.
Yeah.
Really? Come on, dude.
Put him to sleep.
Okay, get back to your original question. I can't pick and choose which one I love the best. Every one of them have different traits.
Give me
My little English Cocker Bell that came from Raglan Kennels up in Illinois.
Yep. I was up seeing Jay about a few
Jay
days
and I
ago.
are really good friends.
He's a good guy.
You know, he brought Jay to me. I lost my first Cocker. Jay calls me on the phone. He says, Kevin, I'm bringing you another. I said, Jay, I don't want any more dogs. I'm done. I'm too hurt. He shows up with a black one and a white one with black spots. Right here downstairs in the store, I have a video. I'll show it to you. Okay. He hands me the white one. He said, that's yours. I said, I'm bawling. I said, Jay, I can't do it anymore. I've been through this with labs and everything else. One of my friends got cancer, and he gave me his Wild Rose dog, his little black Lucy, 42 pounds. She bear hug you every night. Belle's fighting to get in the thing. The other 3, they follow you all around the house. They just want you. My dogs don't live in kennels. They live in the house. And you take them to a dove field, they're on. They're not your dogs, but mine aren't field trial dogs. Mine are meat dogs. And all they got
meat dogs. That's a good southern expression, isn't
meat
it?
dog.
Bringing home the meat. Yeah,
I want them all to do is just go in the dove field, have a good time. I don't want to be sick because I can't breathe or talk after they've been with me. I don't want to be yelling at them all day long. I want to be soft.
I don't think anyone wants to do that. There's a lot of people who do that.
But
I don't think
my
anybody
little
wants
Lucy Lab, I can shoot the dove. She sits right there with Kathleen on me, and she would work for you or him or anybody else. The other day I took her. She walks out. She just walks out. She's not a charger.
Okay.
She walks out, looks around, finds a bird, picks it up. She goes over to the next blind over there. This guy's walking up and down the corn rows. He can't let Lucy brings back 2 birds from him. She says, "Here, sir, they're yours."
Oh, she took them back to him. That's sweet.
And then she just walks back. She looks at me in those big old lab eyes. Give her a little, I put a little water in my hand. Let her look it out of my hand. She's go back to shooting. She's ready. Now that little English cocker, that looks like a tornado going through the field. Everything's knocked down, but she is on it. There's just so much go in them, you know, and they're all different. They're like kids. I mean, so I don't love one over the other, you know.
You just enjoy all.
I walk home every night and I look at them, and Kathleen looks at me like I'm crazy, and I say, "Now, how can I love y'all more? What can I do for you tonight?" And you put the little cocker you put her on a leash. She's just like little Lucy. You take her off, you better
The tornado
you
fires up
better
again.
hang on. But they hunt anything, you know, and they're just happy and going. Put the leash on, they're just take this thing off. I'm ready. But I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite dog?
I had to write an article about it, and I named about a dozen dogs.
That's
And
what
was
I
like-
just
and
did.
That's just the start, exactly. So I asked the question because I know that a true dog person never can answer the question.
Tell me.
It's like saying which is your favorite kid. You know, like
Oh, I got that. That's easy. All right, now, do you remember your first dog?
Yes, I remember like my friend's first dogs when I was 5
What
years
was your first dog's name?
old. We had a Springer Spaniel called Fiddle when I was she was around before me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a Red Labrador called Toffee, who was around before me. She lived till she was 17. My dad rescued a Springer Spaniel called Seiko, as in the watch,
Yep.
out of a 10-story block of apartments. And
See, every one of them have given you love and memories.
yeah, we had a chocolate Labrador called Pepper. We then had my own first dog was a Springer called Moss. And then I got a cocker called Jasper, a Red Labrador called Rung.
I can name every one of mine too. Now, one of my favorite ones.
I'm just reaching 18
I know.
there.
I was 6 years old when I got this dog. There was a little rip rap pointer, English pointer, black and white.
What's a rip rap?
Rip
What does that
rap? That's the black breed,
mean? Okay.
black and white breed.
Okay.
And she had a big black saddle on one side of her side, so I named her Spot.
Okay. Original.
So Spot had a trait, and I'd take her quail hunting with my little next door neighbor I told you about that took me in his wings in his old Jeep. He had an old
The
red.
guy with the 2 daughters.
Yeah, he had a red and white English pointer
Okay.
named Chester.
Okay.
Well, I'd take Spot with Chester, and I didn't know anything. I'm 6, 7 years old. I mean, all that meat dog. Go get it, dog. I thought they were born like that. I thought a dog's supposed to just go do what I do every day, just get up and brush his teeth and go.
I deal with people every day who are grown adults, very successful people. They still think that.
So anyway, Spot developed a trait. She didn't like female human beings.
Okay.
Spot was around me, she was everything. My mom became nervous of Spot because if a lady got out of the car or something in the yard and Spot was there, Spot would charge at 80 miles an hour and take a chunk out of her ass. Would bite her nowhere else, not in the leg, in the rump. And I mean, every female that came around that dog, it was chow. So I had to get rid of Spot. I didn't put her to sleep. I gave her to a hunting family, and I mean, that dog had generations of puppies, and I'm still hearing about them. And that was one of the finest little female bird dogs back with a
Awesome.
country boys.
Yeah.
And so I've had great dogs too.
Yeah, it's always good to have one with a story like that, though. So this is the famous gun room. So Kevin, tell us about your guns, the ones that you make, and why did you decide to make? Why did you decide to make guns? Like, I mean,
I've been building guns in Italy now for 40 years.
Okay.
And where this came about is later on, and Mr. Beretta built guns for me back when they could.
Yep.
they could build 3 or 4 of this and 3 or 4 of that. Today, with the technology and the manufacturing processes, it's all mass produced. So, if they're going to set up and do a gun, they need to build 100. They need to build 50 this, 50 that. Well, they outgrew me. I was making they made 1,500 guns for me a long, long time ago, and they're highly sought after. They were inexpensive guns, but they were perfect. And then when they couldn't handle what I needed because of manufacturing changes, I said, well, I'll just go around to some other gun manufacturers. Italy was full of that back 40, 50 years ago. Today, we're down to maybe 20 instead of 200.
Yep.
So I went over there and messed around for 2 or 3 trips over there, and I was really disappointed. There was nobody that could do what I wanted to do. I'd go to Peyote, and that was real high dollar items, and then you go to Fratelli Rizzini, and that was the same way, and then you go over to the Boses and Mr. Boses, and everything's handmade one at a time. But that wasn't what I was looking for. I needed something that was a great gun, good wood,
But a usable
wood
gun,
and metal
not a...
fit, and you can really put this gun through the test.
Yeah.
The Beretta guns are fantastic. The Italian guns are good. They're all good now. And, I couldn't have something that gave me mechanical problems because you can't repair them. You can, but then you lose customers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So first was quality. So I'd go around and look at these little shops, and I'd look on the floor. These were old machine shops from 100 years ago. There's 2 inches of grease on the floor. And the big old guy in his white apron is black, and his fingernails are all dirty and stuff, and I'd back out. This isn't what I want.
Okay.
I thought I was looking for a NASCAR race shop or a Formula One race shop where everything you could eat off the floor and it's all climate controlled and all that, but that didn't exist.
No.
And so I fast forward, I quit going over there. I was still going to Italy, but I just got burnt out. I mean, I spent 3 or 4 trips going over there looking for this, and I'd spend 2 or 3 days and going to all these places. These little manufacturing shops were all closing down on me, and I didn't know who to pick, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So I backed out, and I just kind of gave up. I said, I'm going to go to Spain. Well, then all of a sudden, same thing's going on over there. And I said, well, I'll go to England, and then, that didn't work out,
Well, I mean, the English we're all raging snobs, so making guns for an American just wouldn't have suited them, would it?
It's not that. I'm good friends with a lot of those guys, so I got to be kind of careful. But
You didn't say it, I did.
no, but they couldn't give me a gun for under $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 that you could go to Argentina with it and bring it back and it still shoots.
Yeah.
I take those dainty, fancy English guns down there and I bring them back in parts.
Yeah.
They're not made for that. And so I backed out. I just started buying production stuff, and next thing you know, I was over at, I went to Italy, and I found this young lady who could take me around and show me around. So I spent 3 years riding with her. She was in the gun business, but she spoke 8 languages. She's very, very
Okay.
high IQ. And I told her what I wanted. She said, well, let me help you. I was born and raised over here, and I'll ride around with you, and we'll start looking at some shops. She said, all I want you to do is give me that or that. And that went on for about 3 or 4 years, and I just didn't, I said, I'm tired. I've been through this already, and I just don't get it. She says, let's make one more stop.
And you found him?
The police. And I turned around to one of the Poli brothers and I said, what do you think? He says, Kevin, everybody on the mountain knows you. I've been waiting 10 years for this meeting. He said, I see you meet my sister. Smoke came out of my ears. I looked at her, he grabbed me by the shoulder. No, 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 no. She was teaching you. Sometimes you have to see the bad before you recognize the good. It took 4 years. I've been waiting for 10 years for you. He says, what do you want? I said, I want you to make me a sample side by side 20 and a 20 over and under. I'll send them to Argentina with my buddies and let them shoot them and see if they can break them. He said, it is not possible. The Poli brothers do not make samples. He said, hold on. He goes upstairs in his little shop. It comes down 2. He said, these are yours. I made these 10 years ago for you. He said, it's a gift from the police.
Should have been on the stage, shouldn't he?
It's a gift. I said, I can't do that. I will pay you. He said, no. I said, well, you don't understand, Antonio. I want 5 of those and 5 of those. Oh yeah, you have to pay for that. I paid him. And I've never looked back. And he said, Kevin, what else do you want from the Poli brothers? You can't lie to me. Italians are known for lying. Tell me the truth. I said, I will pay you. I will never ask you for a discount. I will pay you for what you think your hands are worth. You're working with your hands. They're making these things. He grabs me up and hugs me and kisses me on both sides of the cheek. He says, welcome to the Poli family. He's a big guy. And we've been friends ever since.
Good.
And we're in our 14th year.
Okay. And what makes, like, what were you looking for? What is it? What is the secret sauce?
So I told him, I said, I want you to give me hand rubbed oil finish stocks on wood to metal fit, hand checkering. I want them. And I said, I don't want that for $5,000 because you can't give it to me for that. He said, I can, but I won't. So my guns back then started at about $9,000, $899 or something like that.
Okay.
And I've had no problem mechanically out of any of them. They've all, I gave them the fit, the dimensions that I want for my customers. They've been phenomenal. And, you know, now I'm building ladies' guns. And we've never looked back. It's wonderful. And I've stepped it up now. So I'm building some serious guns with hand engraving and
Okay.
a lot of commissions right now.
Okay.
Which I didn't have back then. I was looking for a rack gun.
Yeah.
I've got a high dollar rack gun.
Okay.
And now it's $12,000. And but it's special. You can't buy it anywhere else but here. And my customers are good. They trust me. They trust the company. You know, we've got a relationship. And if anything's wrong with it, here, just bring it back and let's get what you want.
Yeah.
Make you feel good. So that's part of the whole story with that has been the success story of that thing in my world because what we can do with it. And you're
Yeah.
buying it from me.
Awesome.
And I'm buying it from them.
Yeah.
We talk to each other. I mean, it's good. I can't do that with Browning or those big guys.
No.
I've only had, I probably got 4 or 5 used ones right now, but they look brand new. They change out. They buy a 20 and then they want a 28 or 410. So I just switch them out.
Yeah.
5 years later, you know, where can you do that?
No,
You
exactly.
can't take your car back 5 years later and just swap it out.
That would be great, though.
Yeah.
If you bought that car
it
dealership,
would.
Kevin, you could have done that for all of us.
But you're never going to go back. You're never going anywhere else either when you do that.
No.
Well, there it is.
No, fair enough.
Take care of your customers and your business. It'll take care of you. This is a good example.
There's a good example.
Okay.
Excellent.
We've got all kinds of.
Yep. Let's
Trying to
just
go.
have a little zoom round. Go
We've
for it.
got. We specialize in nothing bird guns because that's us.
Yep.
We've got side by sides. We've got over and unders. We've got, but most of our guns
Majority are like 20s and 28s.
410, 28, and 20s.
Yeah. I mean, the odd. I can see the odd.
Yeah, there's a
12,
few
but
12s
not-
in there.
Not really.
New and used. These are all Spanish guns. These are Ariettas and AYAs and Ariza
Just gone bust or just shut down. or
They're all
something.
gone. They're all gone.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to go after the used ones.
Yep.
I got English guns. There's a wonderful Purdy, Ken Hunt and Grave Purdy, 20, side by side. There's a couple Holland Hollands. Here's some really good bosses. I got a lot of good bosses right now.
Boss, a lovely gun.
There's another one, 220s. Where can you go in and see 220 gauge bosses that look like that? You can't.
No.
I've got old vintage American guns. This is a real high grade L.C. Smith. And they only made one of. There's a set of Parkers right there, old Parkers.
Is that an American?
Those are American.
Yep.
Here's a pair of Peter Chapmans. Peter Chapman was a great gun maker that worked for Purdy's.
Yep.
They're really just Purdy's.
They're Purdy's.
There's a 20 and a 28 right there. There's some fancy high dollar Berettas. Horsley, English. Pairs of Bosses. Over and under Purdy 20 bores. New.
Awesome.
So we've got
A real range. haven't
we've
you?
got a great
Something
selection
for everybody.
We've got a great selection to fit everybody's needs, and both pre-owned and new. Beautiful Wesley Richards, little 28 410 combo. Francots, American guns. There's one of my little baby frame 410.
This is one of yours.
It's one of our guns. I put the Woodward grip on it.
Yep.
The Texans like Woodward grips.
Okay.
Everybody else wants a straight English grip.
Why is that? Why do you think?
Texans.
Just their thing.
They're just their thing.
I do. I like a Woodward grip as well because I've got
No, you do.
shovels for
That's
hands.
not a Prince of Wales. It's a Woodward.
Yeah. Nice little gun. That would do Jack, wouldn't it?
And they got long stocks on them. 15 inches. It's still short for you.
It's still too short.
You need a 15 and a half.
Okay. Man knows his stuff. You see. It's like when you walk into a
And
tailor and they know your size.
And you need you can shoot a straight stock gun even though you're left-handed, but I'd put an 1/8 inch off at the face.
Okay.
1/8 inch on.
I'm gonna come out here writing a check for a new gun, aren't I?
And with 4 to 6 degrees pitch on the stock. And then these are those old Belgium-made Brownings from the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
th-
And you had your game fair the other day, didn't you?
We had it just the other day, 2 weeks ago.
How
Very
was that?
successful. We had 500 people for dinner. We had
Where did you hold that?
right around the corner here at Chinkapin Plantation.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
We're very fortunate. A lot of friends of ours in Thomasville are managers of these places and owners and stuff, and they've all welcomed us to come here. Every bit of the proceeds goes to Tall Timbers Quail Research people.
We donated a dog years ago.
I remember that dog, and I don't know who got it.
Mrs. Phipps. No one else was getting a look in. Gordon Mooney put his hand up once, and he realised he was bidding against Nancy Phipps, and he gave up.
Nancy got it,
Nancy got it. Yeah.
and Gene and Nancy, both of them got it. I miss Gene.
Yeah. Yeah. So do I. He's a good
Saw
guy.
his kids the other night. Gene's a great guy.
And I'm seeing them tomorrow night. All of them tomorrow night, going over there for.
Gene's mama
Over there
and
for-
daddy
yeah.
were good friends of mine when I was a little boy.
Well, they were Tallahassee as well, weren't they?
They were all in Tallahassee.
'Cause that's where his son is.
I
Yeah.
grew up with them
Oh, did you?
down there on Olive Plantation.
Yeah.
These kids now weren't even born then.
No.
One day, Kathleen and I went and had lunch with Gene's mother, Clippy. She was 90-something years old. And we were sitting there at the lunch table, big table in the house over there. And she says, "Kid, I've been a friend of yours all your life. Remember when you took my 2 labs home with you and I didn't know where they went and you spent the night with them? You brought them back the next day on your bicycle down the dirt road?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Was it hard to bring the dogs back?" I said, "No, I thought you were going to let me stay with the dogs in your house." And she says, "Kathleen, would you like red wine or white wine?" He said, "What are you going to have, Mrs. Phipps?" She said, "Well, I'm going to have white." The little lady puts a bottle of white wine in front of her. "Kathleen, what's it going to be?" I said, "Red." She brings Kathleen a bottle of red wine and a bottle of red wine for me. And she says, "Now by the end of the lunch, we're all going to be feeling good." You know, to drink old bottles of wine there. Oh, they were great. That's what I said. Old people, I love them.
A great family.
Oh, they are. Most of this is Americana. You know, Winchesters and the old Parkers and 1920s, 30s, 40s vintage double barrels. You know, there's a following for that now. You don't have to be.
So if all of your, like the whole store, I can tell, like this is, the guns is, you started with guns and the guns is your real passion, isn't it?
I like it all.
Yeah. But the guns, you're kind of,
I'm the gun guy.
you're the gun guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And I've learned so much about firearms. I don't know everything. There's so much more to know that I don't know because those old generations have passed on.
Yep.
And those gun makers of old are gone.
Yep.
The factories are gone. But that was a golden age of everything back then when those guns were like that. And I was just fortunate to catch the tail end of it. And that's probably an asset that, an unrealized asset that I have. You know, you figure out when I was loving guns in the 60s and selling them in there from early 70s on to now, I came into the firearms business when the Colts and the Winchesters and Purdy's and the Hollands and all the English guns, they were still thriving businesses. They were going downhill, but they were still in business. So I got to learn from, man, I sold those old Winchesters, that old Browning A5, the automatic, those old Browning Superposes. They weren't B25s right then. They were Browning Superposes.
Yep.
So I got to sell that when I was first starting out as new guns. So I still remember those guns now. So that learning curve came on the cross between one leaving and one new one's coming.
New one's coming in, yeah.
You know, now all this stuff with these plastic stocks and stuff, you know, I get it, but they got to be good, you know. But I like the old cowboy guns, the Winchester lever actions.
Yeah, you got a few rifles, but it's not really...
The rifles are in the other store in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of rifles.
You do a lot more sort of, it's just more of a sort of deer hunting.
No, this is an upland bird store.
Yeah. The other one's more, you've got
It's
more,
everything.
Everything else.
It's fishing, it's deer hunting,
Okay.
it's elk hunting, it's western hunting.
Much bigger store.
Oh, you can put 5 of these in that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bigger store.
Okay.
All good.
Excellent. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much.
I'm
Really-
sorry I had to drag you all the way out of Miami to come up here and